You may remember that our beginning shows previews, plays the theme, then shows more previews behind the rest of the theme. Well, starting with this episode, each one will follow all that with this.
Dr. Jonathan Chase. Wealthy, young, handsome. A man with the brightest of futures. A man with the darkest of pasts.
I'm not sure why we did this. If we have to have the exposition, put it behind the preview scenes at the beginning or play it over the opening theme. Even getting William Conrad to do the narration isn't saving this.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Jonathan Chase. Master of the secrets that divide man from animal. Animal from man. Partnered with a young police detective and a former army corporal from the fields of Vietnam. A trio that stands against the crime that breeds in the concrete jungles and stretches its deadly tentacles to the fascinating but dangerous world beyond. The world of Manimal.
We are now 2.5 minutes into the episode and nothing has happened. We spent all that time introducing the show that we already introduced last week. Remember what I said about misfires? Yeah, there's another one. Our gang is at a stakeout. Rivera has a bad guy on the ropes, so this guy is set to give them the #1 man in smuggling on the eastern seaboard. At least that's the plan.
Yeah, well, you better be right. Because if the big guy ain't in there, I'm gonna personally see you do 2 life sentences.
Hey, Rivera. I'm telling you, I'm sure he's in there. This is where they make the payoff.
It'd help if you could give us a name.
Ah, come on. In my business, you don't ask for ID. I'll point him out to you.
Just then, a group of men come out. There's no mistaking the blonde guy leading them. Our man says, that's him. Rivera says, let's go get him. Trouble is, this guy doesn't seem too concerned about being arrested and keeps asking if he can go now.
Cuff him and book him.
I'm sorry, you cannot do that.
Ha! Cute little guy, isn't he?
Read the license plate, Lieutenant. You'll understand the message I'm trying to convey to you.
He's a Bulgarian diplomat. He has immunity. Do you realize that we are just about the only country on the planet that does that? We give foreign diplomats total freedom to commit any crime they want, free of consequences. In most countries, if they have such a strong witness against him, his immunity can be revoked in a heartbeat. But not in America, because America. They have to let Zoltan Gregory walk.
He's going to have to scramble to make back the money he just lost.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll follow his next move.
How can he follow that limo without a car?
JC's really good at commandeering different types of transportation.
Yes, that's still Tyrone Earl, Jonathan's pal from Vietnam. He got a facelift and a new name. Michael D. Roberts will be Tyrone for the rest of the series. Why the switch? Nobody's telling.
People just liked it better that way.
One of the more curious things about his change is there's always a full moon. Apparently, to do what he does, you have to be part werewolf. As I said last time, his transformation is hideous. The effects are pretty cool, but they're not pleasant to watch. I think part of the reason is because the whole thing is just too slow. Try this. That's a lot less problematic because it doesn't force us to focus on any one aspect of the ugliness for more than a fraction of a second, and before we know it, he's a hawk, not one of Dr. Moreau's failed experiments. He follows Gregory all night, apparently, and finally tracks him to here.
Take it easy, Cynthia. You're gonna have a great time here.
Harris and Ross, Animals and Illusions, featuring tigers. I wonder if that's a veiled reference to somebody. Gregory wants to talk to Mr. Harris.
I hope you enjoyed your tour.
Put that money away. I told you I'm not doing it anymore.
We'll call this one for the road.
Yeah? Forget it. Get out of here.
He's adamant about it until Gregory threatens his partner. Harris caves in and says, "I'll see you at the pier tonight." I'm enjoying watching Richard Lynch play Gregory. That crooked smile looks genuinely evil, and he capitalized on it for his entire career. That and his voice made him one scary dude, so he always had work as a villain of some kind. The scars on his face completed the image of the tough guy that you don't want to mess with. I hesitate to tell it, but it's a big part of his success story. He got those scars when he went to Central Park in New York one night, dropped some acid, and set himself on fire. He shouldn't have survived. He was burned over 70% of his body. A long year of recovery later, he made his first film, a short documentary about the dangers of drug abuse. If you tried to make this stuff up, nobody would believe it.
About our friend, Mr. Harris. I think we'll have to kill him earlier than planned.
You're not going to keep your promise and just leave him alone after this job? I'm stunned. Stunned, I tell you.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Jonathan Chase, Special Police Task Force.
Sorry, I don't think I understand.
Concerning your conversation with Mr. Gregory, it sounds to me as though you're in a little over your head.
Look, I don't know how you could have overheard any conversation.
If he told you how he overheard it, you'd probably think he was a comedian wanting to join your act. A really bad comedian.
Trust me, we have very sophisticated methods of surveillance these days, and the important thing is, you seem to be in a lot of trouble, and I want to help.
Jonathan says, people who deal with Gregory tend to end up dead. I don't want that to happen to you.
Well, he's got me in a corner.
And I intend to get you out of it if it's not already too late. Now, when do you expect to see Mr. Gregory again?
Probably at the theater tonight.
Oh, excellent. I love animals, and I understand that you have quite a show.
I don't know. If he should find out you're there...
Oh, but I insist that he does. That is the whole idea.
He wants to harass Gregory to the point where he makes a big enough mistake that they can nail him. That night, Jonathan and Brooke are watching the show. It features an absolutely beautiful tiger named Gypsy. But right now, we need a pair of volunteers.
Could you kindly assist us? I should warn the audience that this gentleman is Mr. Jonathan Chase, a special consultant with the New York City Police Department. And the beautiful lady with him is Brooke McKenzie, an officer with the Special Task Force of the New York City Police Department. So, if you're considering committing any crime tonight, please wait until after we've made them disappear.
Well, that's not awkward. They put Brooke in the magic box and have Jonathan insert the blades to cut her in half. Most every professional magic act has done it. But this time there's a twist.
Jonathan, I hope you've been watching closely.
Yes, I have.
Well, that's good, because, you see, we have to leave right now, so have fun trying to put her back together again.
Done that.
Where'd they go?
I don't know.
Jonathan isn't sure how they did this trick, and the audience has no idea that this isn't part of the act.
I've heard of falling head over heels, but this is ridiculous.
Not funny, Jonathan.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you had to save half a cop, which half would you save?
Oh, save the feet half. It doesn't eat as much, so it's more economical. While he's trying to simultaneously figure this trick out and not alarm the audience, one of the trainers is trying to prepare Gypsy to go on stage. Gregory is off in the wings watching everything.
Out, come on. Hey, out! Told you never to hit that cat.
Lighten up, my friend. Lighten up. You're through. Get out.
Gypsy seems unusually agitated, but they'll go on anyway. First, let's fix Brooke.
I'm ready with my hypodermic needle. Demon, I'm in the wrong illusion. Have patience, my dear. I have many patients. I'm a doctor, you see. Gypsy, you must find the nurse, quick, with some glue.
But when they do the trick, it's not the nurse that appears. he can't say Jonathan didn't warn him. Well, he can't say anything, but you know what I mean.
Harris! He's dead.
Drop! Jonathan!
Rivera arrives, Brooke is out of the magic box, and they're putting it all together.
Okay, so the cage and the cat disappear, the cage comes back, and Harris is inside the cage dead.
Killed with one swipe of a cat's paw across the jugular.
Yeah, but you don't understand. I mean, Gypsy wouldn't hurt anyone. But look at her.
Yes, look at her. Look at her very closely. Specifically, examine her claws for blood. That simple check will tell you what you need to know, whether yes or no. Spoiler, none of these professional investigators will think to do that. Instead, when animal control gets there to kill Gypsy, Jonathan begs Rivera for more time to find out what happened. Rivera gives him 24 hours.
Every dog will get his day in court. Maybe even able to prove her innocent. I suppose little time is better than none.
Chase, you've got to do everything in your power to save her.
Everything in my power. I promise.
This one doesn't need your special powers. Just look at her claws. I don't get why that hasn't occurred to Ross.
I did my share and I want my money. Now part of that shipment is mine. Beat it. You got till tomorrow and then I'm gonna blow the whistle on you.
I mean it, Mr. Manning.
That's our fired roadie. Mr. Manning is the act's manager. Seems like everybody is in on this scheme except Ross, and maybe Gypsy.
Jonathan, your tires are gone.
Oh, just not our days.
Hey, taxi!
Oh, well, there's no point keeping Ty waiting. We'll call the order club from the restaurant. 4 Seasons, please.
How convenient that cab came along at just that moment.
You mind if I stop and get a pack of smokes?
No, go ahead.
Too convenient, as it turns out. Jonathan can hear the bomb ticking, so they get out just in time. It's all very routine. We've seen it 100 times. It doesn't take them long to figure out that the tires were stolen to get them into the death cab. Jonathan has been playing with Gypsy, and he's figured out that she would have had to be outside the cage, strike with her front paw instead of her rear paw the way tigers do, and Harris had to have his neck extended toward her to receive the blow. He still hasn't thought to check for blood on her claws, and that one recurring fact right there is why I and a lot of other people couldn't take the episode seriously.
Excuse me, Mr. Manning.
Miss McKenzie.
That's Officer McKenzie to you.
We'll finish this later. Please, come in. What a surprise. I love you liberated women of the 80s. You come to us, you make life so much easier.
She explains this is police business, but he won't stop trying to hit on her. Unfortunately, he only radiates money, not pheromones. That doesn't work on Officer McKenzie. Eventually, he realized it doesn't work on most women, so he quit trying so hard, sat back with his favorite beer, and became the most interesting man in the world.
Mr. Manning, I've discovered what I consider to be some interesting facts.
You've interviewed some women in my past, found me to be fascinating, and couldn't wait to get over here.
I found your bank accounts even more fascinating.
Suddenly, he's not so charming. He says, "You'll never pin anything on me."
Gregory has diplomatic immunity. You don't. You won't like serving time in prison, Mr. Manning. The wine list is very small. I'd sell those if I were you. Get myself a lawyer.
She's pressed him just enough and planted her bug, and she knows exactly what he'll do next because these types are so predictable. But she doesn't think to look for blood on the tiger's claws, as I said. You know, we have lots of compilations of stupid criminals. Maybe we need a compilation of stupid good guys, too. Tyrone is in a janitor's closet, listening and recording.
Zoltan Gregory. Cops were just in here, putting the heat on me. It's time to tidy up loose ends. Get rid of Williams.
William is the trainer they fired. Zoltan Gregory says get rid of him. Manning is nothing if not a good yes man. How do you do this?
Yeah, William here. What do you want?
Listen, there's been a change in plans. Now this time we're gonna pay you before the whole shipment is sold.
Yeah, why?
Never mind why, just be there.
Now you're getting smart.
Benton Trucking, 4th trailer, about a half an hour.
I'm on my way.
While Johnny Hawk follows Gregory, Tyrone and Brooke have found the truck where William is supposed to meet Manning.
This is where Manning said he'd meet William.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
We are not alone.
It's William, the trainer.
I think you were spotted. Gregory is meeting Manning elsewhere. Jonathan listens in and hears about Ty and Brooke being locked in the truck. Gregory says, dump them in the harbor. Jonathan has to rush to save them.
I got him! I told you I could!
Or not. His incredible power thwarted by a child's fishing net. Oh, the humiliation.
That sure beats catching fish, son. But what do we do with him?
Call the zoo. I bet they'd love to have a hawk like this.
Fortunately for Jonathan, the zoo also had a really hot female hawk, so...
Well, what's wrong?
He just kind of collapsed. I didn't mean to hurt him. Honest.
I'm sorry, son. He looks dead.
Oh well, the female hawk probably already had a boyfriend anyway.
JC!
That's a well-trained bird, but I'm not convinced the hawk did all of that. Some clever editing there.
Yeah, you were right. There were large cash deposits made into a secret account of Gregory's, the same days they were made into Felix's.
So, they are smuggling together. Hi.
What's wrong?
She scratched me. She didn't mean to.
Come on. She's doing much better today. Take her.
Come on.
Look, I don't know if I'm interrupting your love life or your animal life, but...
There's a difference. What makes you think he's only into humans? They sort out that Gregory and Manning are using the show to smuggle their goods, which was obvious to everyone else half an hour ago. The show is packed up and in a warehouse, so if they haven't sold their contraband yet, it'll still be in there somewhere. Let's go find it.
Here, help me with this. Furs must be worth millions.
Yes, highly illegal millions.
That'll make it easy to nab Manning, but what about our favorite foreign diplomat?
Brooke,
What?
look.
Strike. This was how they did it. I now know how, and I also know who.
Does it have blood on it? No time to check. Our favorite foreign diplomat just showed up with 2 carloads of goons, all carrying guns, and they cut the phone line. Our heroes are trapped. Don't miss our next exciting episode. Wait, we don't do that in this show. While the shooting starts, Jonathan changes to his panther form. I couldn't deprive you of that. This one is even better. Bonus points if you can tell me whose face was on that drum. When the henchmen are all down, it's time for the big boys.
I hope you don't have any plans for dinner tonight.
And no, she's not getting kinky. It'd be just like this guy to ask. That takes care of him, but taking down Gregory will require Jonathan's magic.
No. Come on, you guys. No, don't.
Please. He starts asking Brooke to do something since it's clear she and this monster are allies.
Okay, you guys.
No, please, wait.
You're not going to leave me here.
What else is she supposed to do? You've been rubbing her nose in diplomatic immunity all episode. She got the message. You're untouchable. Now you just have to explain it to him.
Wait, I want to waive my diplomatic immunity status. Throw myself on the mercy of the sovereign state of New York.
Mr. Gregory, it would be my pleasure to read you your rights. It'd be his pleasure, too.
You may have guessed that this episode lost me very early. There were a few good bits, but overall, the main reason nobody checked the tiger's claws is because we had 48 minutes to fill. This show is slow. Jonathan's transformations take forever. While he was changing to a panther, even Officer Mackenzie told him to hurry up. We have long scenes of cars going places with the hawk following. We'll spend a good 30 seconds just watching the panther slink from one place to another, doing nothing. My rough estimation says this episode was at least 30% padding. And fair warning, subsequent episodes have about the same amount or more. There's too much time spent with nothing happening. We killed over a minute with Jonathan and Brooke sneaking through the warehouse unaware of each other. But true to the show's theme that women are just a little bit less than men, Brooke is startled. Jonathan isn't, and he sees her and allows himself an indulgent smile before he reveals himself. Yes, the misogyny continues. If I start on that, we'll be in a rabbit hole for the next half hour. So I'll save it for another time. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button and remember to subscribe because there's lots more to come. These are a couple of videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, so feel free to check them out. Until next time.